Hi, I'm Kevin. This is my dad, Mark, and this is a 1973 MG Midget owned by my Uncle Ron. Follow us as we try and get it back to a running, driving vehicle.
Ron, we're back at it. March just started and we have a 62-degree day. What a jump from the low 30s, and some of them were single digits, so February was just too cold for an old man. I did lift it in February and I got it kind of tilted a little bit lower in the back. It's up on blocks. I'm hoping to use this to run my chain fall to the motor, pull the motor out. Everything is stationary and you can't move it, so it'll make it extra difficult and more challenging, which is what we want. First off, we have to get rid of this grill. The grill has to come out before I can get the radiator out. And I always like to get the radiator out because it gives me a little more room to see more of the bolts and feels like I've got some room around the engine. So first today, because it's a nice day, I thought maybe we'd start with the grill. So I just wanted to show you the bolts. There's not many. There's 4 up top here. 3. So there's the 4. And then, I don't know if you can see it. I'll try and give you a light. There's one down there, and there's one over here. So there's 6 volts, hopefully. Hopefully I can do them from the top here, and I won't have to crawl underneath and vice grip the bottom or something like that. Ron, one more thing before I start tearing this apart. Pulling in this all winter long and staring at the grill and the headlights, it reminded me a lot of my 55. So I was like, did they steal a little bit of the 55 design? It was a very popular model, changed everything. This is the same design through the 60s and early 70s, so maybe they stole it in the 60s. I'm thinking it might be. I'll have Kevin insert a little something here to describe that. Do I wait while that happens? I'm not sure. I guess I'll wait. Are we back? Besides a lot of similarities with the big headlight, the single markers, and the big grille, Harley Earl stole that for the 55 from a Ferrari. I'm thinking this is basically a Ferrari. It's no longer worth $3,500. I think we should add a few zeros. It's practically a Ferrari. Quickly wanted to show you that. Got the top bolts out with the 7mm, no problem. That bottom bolt that's hidden way down there, as you can see in the corner. With this tool that Kevin bought me, I might be able to get down there, and naturally it's a little bigger. It's a 10mm, so I lucked out. I had one of those sockets. The problem is this is really flimsy and it never has much resistance, so I'm going to be fighting that for a few minutes. Success. It was very easy to do. The bolt right in there, if you can see it, is one of the housings for the radiator. That's one of the bolts to release. They have the same thing over on the other side. Right now we've got a oil cooler on here. So I have to take that off. Not necessarily the oil cooler out, but we got to get the hoses off because they connect to the block. And I only saw that on one video on YouTube. There's one connection here and there's a connection down there at the bottom. It's going to be a pain in the neck. That one shouldn't be too bad. But if I can disconnect them and put them off to the side, we should be able to have no problem pulling out from that. And I don't think we have to take out the oil cooler. But anyways, grill popped out. So next we're going to get the radiator out, and that's going to make a mess. I know. Hey Ron, there's another nice day here. So I'm going to try and get the radiator. That's the first attack. There's some bolts out here for a housing. I'm going to see if I can get them loose, if they're going to fight me. A lot of the old American cars will pinch the radiator in place with some grommets to absorb some of the shock. I don't know if this is a similar design. There's usually a tunnel, radiator, fan tunnel, to get some more of the suction as it pulls the air in. with the fans turning. This doesn't have that. It appears the radiator might be on the opposite side of that, so I'm going to try and get that housing off and see how hard it is to do. Back at it. It fought me, Ron. Of course it did. But I got what I think is the casing off, and I'm going to take the whole radiator and everything out as a unit. So right now, the only thing holding it on, I think, are the hoses. I'm going to take the hoses off. So I'm going to make a mess. So I thought you might want me to film that. Kevin could put a fast forward over and see how bad of a mess I actually make. I'm anticipating a lot. We'll see how it goes. I'm catching nothing. Is there a hole in this thing? There we go. Well, that's a mess. Let's see if I can clean it up. Radiator's out. Tons more room. This is where the bolt came through, is in there on both sides. And then they screwed to this bottom pan down here. They just had 2 screws. I believe there was supposed to be a bolt here. Luckily, I didn't have to deal with that because I have a feeling this radiator's been out before. Well, I did find, and I've got like 3 on the floor over there, and I've got a couple still remaining. I just wanted to show you. Somehow, we've got rocks wedged in here. I don't know how they would have gotten in there, but they kicked up and wedged in, and they're on both sides. I got rocks. I've got to drain or take this one off, and maybe there's a little bit remaining, maybe not. I want to get that hose off for tonight so it can just keep dripping overnight and be out of it. And then the heater core, I'll disconnect these 2 tonight. And then we'll just let things drip. That should be all the antifreeze till I start jostling the engine around and it starts puking some more stuff out. Now the radiator didn't go as great as planned. So here it is on the floor. The whole unit came out together, which is nice. This is the top. This was a beat up side to get to a bolt that was spinning. So I'm going to make I'll make a little flat washer or something that'll I'll be able to put a better bolt through and be able to get to both sides. It'll just work so much better. I think it was supposed to be something like this originally. This was how I know it's been out before is, I don't know if you can see it with the light, but this was already chewed to bits because of somebody else's handiwork. One thing of concern, which I'll probably just take care of, bring it to somebody. The overflow tube isn't really on that well. So that's gonna leak day one. I don't know if I'll need it pressure tested. I could JB weld it, but that's kind of kludgy. And then I have to take the radiator out again if that doesn't work. So we may get that welded. So I'll clean up those last couple hoses, and that's it for today.